Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the For the Geeks podcast for what day is it today? May
24th, episode
24th.
35.
So close. Episode 35. I am one of your hosts, Jonathan Miranda. With me today, again, as always, is Chris Seeger, affectionately known as Sniffles.
Yeah.
We are back. It's been a couple weeks. We've been busy, work, life, everything, but we're back again. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about. I guess that's come up over the last couple weeks. So we'll get over all that and more as soon as we get to it. But just want to thank you all for tuning in.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
For those of you who don't know, we are a somewhat weekly podcast where we talk about video game nerd stuff. We were doing better in the beginning when we restarted, but like I said, a lot has been happening lately.
Life happens.
But yeah, we talk about video games, we talk about anime, we talk about random crap in our life too, just for fun. But we stick to a bunch of nerdy shit, and we tend to spaz out on that nerdy shit every once in a while. So if you came to listen to some dorks be dorks, you're in the right place, I think. So let's do a quick catch up on everything. Yes. What's going on with you, as we always do in our quiet corner?
No. So lots of things. I finished Andor season 2. Again, won't spoil it. It was so good that now every time I watch Star Wars, I have to watch Andor seasons 1 and 2 before I watch Rogue One and whatnot. So after finished season 2, I immediately started watching Rogue One, and it slipped right into it perfectly. And then I started A New Hope right away. I'm just like, this is fan-fucking-tastic. Fuck the haters.
He slipped right into Andor.
Yeah. And then speaking of Star Wars, there's more Star Wars shizzle. There is on YouTube a prologue fan film by the YouTube channel The King's Academy, WPB FL. They made an 11 minute and 43 second prologue to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic fan remake. And why is this one special compared to other fan films of Star Wars? Because 1, it's Knights of the Old Republic. 2, these guys actually built their own volume. And for those of you who don't know what the volume is, it's basically a circular, almost circular room comprised of extremely high quality LCD screens that are able to generate backgrounds. So you don't have to go on location. You don't have the CGI backgrounds. None of that. You just bring it up on the screen and you're able to act as if you're actually there. And if you're watching Star Wars or anything that uses the volume, whatever scenes feel, not claustrophobic, but more compressed and smaller with the actors because they're not running like long distances, it's most likely going to be in the volume. Because they're confined to that small area, which is still impressive because these people were able to do something that a big Hollywood studio was able to do. So I'm excited that next year they will release the full feature film, which is great. I watched it. You guys should check it out. Go to that YouTube page that I just mentioned. And the main character is as awkward as he's supposed to be like he is in the video game, which is great. And more Star Wars stuff. Star Wars Tales of the Underworld came out on May the 4th. And special thing with that, if it also aired the first 2 episodes of Tales of the Underworld in Fortnite the day before. So if you were playing Fortnite, you could have sat down and watched in the game's theater mode or whatever the first 2 episodes of Star Wars Underworld.
We were watching some of that stuff.
Oh, cool! You should watch the whole show. It's good.
We were just catching random clips before jumping into matches. But it was cool. We stopped by to look at it and we were like, oh, cool.
It's a story of Asajj Ventress and how she survives after the book Dark Disciple. Because she dies in that book. The book came out a long time ago. And Filoni brought her back for one episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch. And he explained that we will explain how she came back by honoring the Dark Disciple book. And so in some media form, I thought it was going to be a comic or another book, but he blessed us with an animation, and it's great. And then those are the first 3 episodes are following Asajj Ventress' journey after that. Then the other 3 episodes are the backstory of the galactic famous bounty hunter Cad Bane and how he rose from being a nobody to being one of the greatest bounty hunters in Star Wars, next to Jango Fett and Boba Fett. For those of you who don't know, this character actually was one of the 4 bounty hunters that trained Boba Fett in the art of bounty hunting, which helped Boba Fett become the badass that he is today. So yeah, I highly recommend go checking that out because anything with the Clone Wars style animation that comes from Lucasfilm is fucking peak. It's always peak compared to the live action. The fans will tell you that. And then what else did I do? I signed up for a game beta test because I keep seeing this. I keep doing these on like Instagram. I'm like, okay, this will be good for content. It's called Project Edo by the company Soleil. And there's only 2 games I recognize out of there: the Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker, which I don't know any person that's actually played
Naruto
that.
Boruto, not
no,
two.
Shut up. It says 2.
It's Toe.
It's 2.
It's
and
Toe.
then there's Valkyrie
you don't say
Elysium.
Naruto to Boruto, you say Naruto and Boruto.
No,
That's
it's literally called
means
Naruto to Boruto. It's going from Naruto story to Boruto story. That's what it is. But yeah, and Valkyrie Elysium.
Debatable.
I don't know what those games are like. I watched some footage on the Shinobi Striker. It looks fine to me. So if it's anything like that, I guess it'll be interesting.
It's all right.
I watched
Combat
3
feels
movies.
sluggish.
I finished Heat. Fantastic movie. Excellent. I watched Collateral right after that. Oh my God, that was good. It was nice seeing Tom Cruise in something that isn't Mission Impossible. I was trying to remember the character, Ethan Hunt. Yeah. Then I watched Bloodsport last weekend, which is corny as shit because Jean-Claude Van Damme's goofy acting, but it was still enjoyable. And I need to watch Kickboxer this weekend to follow up with the corniness. Yeah.
B-rate.
And then
80s martial arts movies are always a good time. They're just super fucking like over the top with certain things, and the acting doesn't catch up to some of the combat, but it's fine because like the combat makes up for it, sort of thing.
And then they have their 80s music just playing the entire time as a soundtrack. Instead of having an actual soundtrack, it's like, let's just play 80s theme music the whole time and whatnot.
When they do the fucking training montages and it's just this like really like cheesy fucking saxophone in the background while he's punching a fucking bamboo tree. Just, fucking saxophone going crazy.
Or saxophone when they have like a romance scene or whatever. I'm like, this is typical 80s. That reminds me of, that's why I like Far Cry Blood Dragon, is because, main character fighting cybernetic dinosaurs with guns and lasers. And then there's a scene where he gets the girl and whatever. I'm like, this is so 80s. It's got the sunset. It's got the sax music. I love that shit. It's fucking hilarious. That's a good game, though. If you haven't played Far Cry Blood Dragon, check it out. It's the most 80s thing ever. I loved it. But anyway, and the last thing, action figures. I pre-ordered a couple ones since the tariffs went down, thankfully, by quite a bit. From China, I pre-ordered Goku Super Saiyan 5 and Zycor. I'm planning, which is, for those of you who don't know, that is Toyotaro's Dragon Ball AF creation that got Toriyama's interest in him to take him on as his apprentice and teach him everything he knows about being a mangaka and all that stuff, which is fantastic. I plan to also pre-order Super Saiyan 4 Goku Black as well as Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, which is nice. And then just today, moments before we started filming, I got this in the mail as an action figure set. I got Clone Wars the animation, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and
Commander Cody.
No, that is Clone Trooper that is one of his battalion, which is the 212th. That is Kenobi's battalion.
Should have been Cody.
Cody's, I have a Cody figure somewhere else. But yeah. And then, of course, I bought a Mythic Quest t-shirt because I supported the show by buying this and not, just pirating. But the money didn't go to Apple, so fuck you, Simon. It went to Ubisoft because Ubisoft paid for all that shit. Apple was just the streaming service.
Not even any better that it went to Ubisoft.
Well, it was a good show. I enjoyed it, and I'd love more shows about video gaming industry and all that stuff. But yeah, what about you? What you been up to, cuz?
I'll tell you right now when I figure out where the knocking I just heard was coming from.
He is tripping right now, man. What the fuck? Bro.
Let me go check my front door. Give me 1 second.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I think somebody was knocking on my front door.
Keep them busy. Okay. Well, if you're wondering why my audio sounds better, I'm using an interesting piece of software. It's Voice Mod 2. Thank you, Jose, for recommending me for 2.0 version, because I had the 3.0 version, which is the current. But there was an issue. If you remember, in the first episode we recorded this year, it was right after the Star Wars episode. I think it was like episode 25. When we came back, I was using Voice Mod 3 and it was too roomy. It didn't have any noise reduction and whatnot. But this one, I'm using minimal voice reduction, which is great. And it allows me to control my voice better. And also, I don't have to rely as much on the audio interface where I plug my thing into. Video games, let me think. What have I been playing? Oh, Star Wars, Battlefront, which I'll talk about that when John gets back. I've been playing that because there's been a resurgence thanks to all Star Wars themed things and what have you. I don't know why Stuff and Fluff. I don't know. I'm gonna pause this until he comes back because I can't keep talking forever.
You're not keeping them busy.
No, he's back now. Okay, he's taking forever.
Supposed to keep them busy.
I paused the fucking video just to continue.
No, you're supposed to keep them busy.
Shut the hell up! I did talk.
There should have been an ad break right there.
We don't get paid for fucking shit.
Where you talked about Patreon and how many ways you could support the group, so that way we don't.
That's what the end is for. Because if I say it anyway, you reiterate it at the end. Just do it at the end. Shut up. Stop chugging your water. Was there anyone at the door? No.
No, so I don't know where that fucking knocking was coming from.
You tripping, bro? All right, now explain to the cast what you were doing.
I can totally hear it.
What were you doing for the past 3 weeks?
God, what have I been doing? What haven't I been doing?
Casting? You haven't
nothing. Just hanging out with a bunch of my friends. Just going to a bunch of stuff. EDC happened this past weekend, so we did that. Had a bunch of friends from out of town come in and stay here, and got to hang out and see everybody again. So it was a really nice little vacation, and I took vacation this week from work, so I was just home this whole week, relaxing, playing games. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 again. Picked up Dragoon. Probably picking up Paladin next as my next class to play.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Gonna be doing a couple of other random stuff in there too. I'm not sure yet. I do want to pick up another DPS class, but I don't know which one yet. Probably a
Samurai. Samurai. The best.
I already have Samurai. I'm thinking of actually doing Red Mage.
Oh, that's
Red
a fun
Mage
one.
Sounds like a
I like
fun time.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the mix between magic and melee. So we'll see. Still working on just my Dragoon first and getting that all settled and squared away. Other than that, what else have I been doing? What else have I gotten? Got a new water pack that's really nice. I just received my new tarot cards. That's really cool. They're very fucking pretty.
You're into tarot now?
I've been.
I didn't know that.
They're really
You're
nice.
A strange one.
They are gold edge gilded, so you can see the shine on there. The edge of the cards are nice and smooth and pretty. And they're all very they're all Alice in Wonderland based.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So it's really cool. So like here's the chariot. You see Alice walking down the little path and everything. It's really neat, really nice. Good, really cool artwork. If you see it. Very nice.
It's neat. Yeah.
I really like the artwork. Really nice.
If you can't see it, you should watch the video on YouTube instead of listening on podcast. But we like both.
We like you. We love you either way.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, I haven't been doing too much else. Making sure Pike doesn't jump on my computer like a little rat.
Good kitty.
And yeah, just been doing that. I bought the Capcom Fighting Collection Volume 2.
Cool.
So I got Capcom versus SNK now again. And
Snick.
hey, what are you doing? Stop chewing on my headphone cord. You don't chew on that. That's right. I see you.
A squirt bottle.
God damn, dude. No, she's good enough to know when I yell at her, she knows to stop. Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched any animes recently. I did. I remember. I think I mentioned it last time we were on the cast, but I did finish Invincible. Caught up on that. And I started watching the new season of Black Mirror, which is pretty cool. So far, favorite episode has been episode 3, I think. What was episode 1?
I've never seen the show.
You've never watched Black Mirror?
I've never been interested in it. It looks whatever.
Interesting. I figured you would love Twilight Zone kind of stuff.
I've never seen the Twilight Zone.
Well, that's old, so that one I get, but I figured you'd be into a new age version of it. It's actually really fucking neat and cool, very trippy and creepy. Sometimes very nice. Very nice. But yeah, that's about all I've been up to.
Okay. That's not too much.
Pretty
good.
Let me put this stuff away.
Information. But yeah, games and what have you, news and stuff.
For those of you who are interested and are wondering, this is the Wonderland Shadow Tarot deck from Ethereal.
I don't think anyone's wondering, but okay.
They're really cool. They are very neat, very pretty.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Put this back down here for now. But yeah, not too much. I did my nails all pretty for EDC. I mimicked the Thanos character from Squid Game. For those of you who watched it, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. It's very nice. For those of you who are watching the video, you can see him. Very cute.
I haven't seen that either. Don't plan to.
Very good. Don't know why you're hating on Squid Game. It's amazing.
I hate it because it's popular. Yeah, my hipsterness. Because people won't shut up about it, so I lose interest in it.
That is legitimately some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Like I've said, I've always been this way, and I'll always go back to Borderlands. People hyped up Borderlands for me for years. I'm like, okay, whatever. And 3 years went by, I didn't play it, and then after the 3rd year, I'm like, okay, I'll play it. Played it for 60 hours, didn't like it, got bored, never going back to that kind of game again. See, I hate it.
With that, I can at least give you the chops for it because you fucking did it. And be like, oh yeah, he went and tried it. He didn't like it. Okay, at least you fucking tried it. You didn't even give Squid Game a chance, and you just
that's because I don't want to do that again. I don't want to waste time trying something that I'm probably not going to like, knowing me. Yeah, I don't think so. I'd rather do something else that I know I could be interested in from the get-go instead of other people hyping it for me. Yeah. So it depends. Just like anime, like with Don to Don, probably never going to watch it. People wouldn't shut up about it. And I'm like, I don't care. Solo leveling, I don't care. Shut up about it. Like I said, if I'm not interested from the beginning on my own, I'm probably not going to care about it. Or if only one person tells me about it, then yeah, sure, I'll have interest. But too many people, no, I don't care. It gets annoying.
Very sad. Very sad. Very sad. Anyways.
Cheese and rice.
Moving on to our geek news. We got
lots of geek news
here. Lots of stuff to talk about. We got a Kingdom Hearts 4 update this past couple weeks.
Yeah, they say they're still working on it. And they showed some screenshots.
Bunch of screenshots showing different parts of the game, different things like cinematics, action sequences, camera shots or stills of like cinematic scenes. It looks like. We've got a full-on look at the new design that Sora has, much more in the vein of Final Fantasy, I would say. He is like an evolving Final Fantasy Pokemon. He continuously becomes more and more like Final Fantasy and less like his original
I honestly
self
thought there was going to be no Disney in this next one because I thought they were like at odds with each other, but I guess there is going to be Disney because there's Mickey Mouse in one of the shots.
You want to flip that one real quick because the problem was that Square Enix was not partnering and getting close with them, so Disney was doing more.
Oh, well, this is just going off of big fans that have talked about this to me that know more than me, so I didn't really research any of that. But I'm just surprised.
The whole problem was that Disney and Square Enix had what was the word? Creative differences. And so Square Enix pulled back a lot of their characters and Disney wanted to push forward with more of their characters. They filled in the gaps and they did all this extra stuff. That's why in Kingdom Hearts 3, you don't see any Final Fantasy characters because Square Enix said, okay, fuck it then, and pulled their characters back, which is why it's ironic that Sora looks a lot more like a Final Fantasy character, because it's like, damn, bro, you really just stepped on Square Enix's toes and then said, fuck you, we're going to make it ourselves.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if we see absolutely no Final Fantasy characters once again. Excuse me.
I kind of wish that I want to see it.
Excuse me.
I want to see Final Fantasy characters, damn it.
The big, what do you call it? As a child, at least for me, as a younger gamer, my big thing about Kingdom Hearts was that it was a mix between these two different brands that I loved. I love Disney. I'm a Disney kid through and through. I've always been that way. But I'm also a Final Fantasy nerd. Like, I love the characters. I love that series. There's so many more different characters from Final Fantasy that you could pull into Kingdom Hearts and make much more sense out of. Even like old Final Fantasy characters, especially like Final Fantasy 1, the heroes of the Warriors of the Light. And from Final Fantasy 2, Furion, one of the other like original Warriors of Light. Like there's so much you could build off of that in the Kingdom Hearts lore, especially with the battle of light versus darkness, fucking, you know, the Keyblade Masters and all that stuff. Like you could make so much, you could intertwine so much of Final Fantasy lore into Kingdom Hearts.
And Final Fantasy characters are just richer, more interesting. Like I saw like a clip. It was that clip of Cloud in Kingdom Hearts 2 where Cloud and Squall are back to back fighting off the Heartless. I'm like, this is a cool moment. These characters are fucking
just edgy and cool,
deep, edgy, and awesome. Like Disney is not like this at all. These characters are more interesting than Disney characters.
They made Mickey very edgy. They made Mickey edgy. But like, give him that. Like they made that work.
He's not like on the level like, oh, Mickey's a badass. I'm like, it's just Mickey Mouse being cool to me. I'm like, it's whatever.
I can hear that. I can see that, but I still think that there's ways to make them both work. I don't think that the Disney side of it is obviously like not good enough for the story. I think it is perfectly fine, because that's the whole revolving thing is the saving of the princesses. They are the keys of the, you know, the key ways to life. Yeah. They are integral to the story. And I think that the Final Fantasy characters being added in gave the world a lot more realism than before. And the fact that you kind of lose out on that deep lore to kind of build off of these other people who are displaced from their worlds for whatever reason makes a big thing. Like there could have been a Final Fantasy world. Like it could have been super fucking cool, but
that'd be nice.
Disney and Square didn't see eye to eye on things, and that's how it is now. So
maybe it'll change for 4. Who knows? I doubt it.
Maybe it could be. I don't know. I mean, the thing that I think we can hold out hope for is the fact that Sora does have a much more Final Fantasy-esque character build in these stills. So maybe there's been some point in time where Disney has reached out to Square Enix and mended that bridge and kind of tried to fix things. Who knows? We don't know for sure. It's just a hopeful guess off of what I see. It's not founded on any like real news or any real information that we have, but
there's hope. I also hope the fucking story's good. I don't need it to be as confusing as 3 was, back and forth with the story guy who did 15 as well as 3. I'm like, stick with one thing, stop making a problem, let's have a cohesive good story.
To be fair, 1, 2 were just as confusing if you knew.
Not as you were still able to follow it. Once I got to 3, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening anymore.
Well, the thing with 3 was that you missed 2 or 3 games that were.
Well, no, I did play them, but like,
to them.
Still, it was very confusing because of that. Yeah,
I don't know if it was that confusing for me, but see, all right. So since he's walking away, I'm gonna show you how to do this. For those of you who are still around. This is what you would add in when somebody walks away from their microphone to go do something. You would fill in that space with emptiness.
Yeah, you know how long that took? It took 10 seconds, bitch.
And mine only took a minute. You could have talked for a minute about
I talked for about 40 seconds, and then I stopped the video, and you came back, and I was back.
Anything.
It doesn't matter.
Anything.
It doesn't matter. Anything? I can't talk about anything.
Could have been anything.
No.
I was gone. You were unleashed. You were off the reins. You could have taken this to Browntown for all you care. Like
I can't do that. We will get canceled. I don't care about being canceled, but I care about us being canceled. Fucking shit. I don't need 40 Geeks being canceled.
Hopeful for the Kingdom Hearts 4 stuff. Can't wait to see more. I'm super excited.
Yes.
I am a Kingdom Hearts nerd through and through. So
same here.
would like to see more about our Keyblade Guardians here.
Yes.
Battlefront 2 has had a big resurgence lately. Sniffles, if you want to take point on that and talk about it.
It's cool. No, I did that on purpose. No, it's most likely had a resurgence because of all the Star Wars media that's been happening, specifically with Fortnite, because they're doing like weekly releases, like a season. It's like, oh, this comes out this week.
Yep.
This comes out this week. Because I remember they laid that out for
this close.
For what?
This close to unlocking Darth Jar Jar.
Oh yeah, you need like 1 million XP or something. It's
super fucking easy. You get so much XP so fast. It's not that big of a deal.
It is Fortnite. But yeah, because I remember they had like they laid out a plan for people at Star Wars Celebration. Like, this is what we're gonna do over the next couple weeks and all that. But also the success of Andor being like the biggest debut of awesome Star Wars-ness in history. Fuck the haters again. That it was so well done that people are like, for the rebellion, and people are jumping into Battlefront 2 saying that for the rebellion. I'm making sure I pick the clone side or the rebellions, the rebels all the time, because fuck the Empire. Unless it's heroes versus villains, that shit's fun. And it's great, and people want. It's gotten to the point where people want this to make. Get attention from EA and DICE to create Battlefront 3. And it's even gone so far as there's been some of the devs that, all the devs, so one of the devs, I don't know his name. I just saw like a tweet about it, and he said, well, the team's not back to anywhere. We're split across multiple companies, as it is with games. Once you make a game, you get a job somewhere else. You're not necessarily with the company forever. And what the hell are you doing? And whatnot.
Stretching my neck.
Okay, well, penis. And where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, so there are different companies, but then it's garnered so much more interest because as of today, on Steam at least, Battlefront 2 has had the highest player count of over 10,000 players. And I'm like, that's impressive. I didn't know that was a thing. And it's even more because it's also on console. And most of the Battlefront 2 players, myself included, got it on the Origin app, which is now the EA app. And I don't know how to if there's a metric checking for that, because all I know is like Steam Charts has numbers. It doesn't count the Origin app and everything. So that's great. And it's gotten to the point where some of the older devs are like, you know what? Let's get back together. Let's get the band back together and make Battlefront 3, which that would be fantastic for me, because the first Battlefront was great. There was nothing wrong with that. The second one, everything went wrong, and then EA fixed it by removing the loot boxes and everything, so you can just grind by playing, anywhere between 1 and 15 hours to get enough in-game credits to unlock, a skin of your choice or more star cards to beef up your character, builds, or whatever. But all in all, I think it's an amazing game. I've always liked it, even with the issues of the loot boxes before, because I just ignored it. I mainly either played Heroes versus Villains or it was a Galactic Assault. Yeah, that's the one where you have 40 players on each side, and you go take. It's similar to Battlefield, where you have to go through progressions and whatnot. Because I feel like I'm in Star Wars when I'm playing Battlefront 2. I love it. I even use it for my toy photography, because I have NVIDIA Ansel PC Gamer, which is it's a built-in plug-in for NVIDIA GPUs that allows you to freeze whatever game you're playing, move the camera around in and out of the boundaries, and take screenshots in either 360-degree vision or 4K footage or whatever. And I do that for generating backgrounds. Like, I want to do like a Death Star shot. Let me take a photo of an empty Death Star background. Let me save that, and I can composite it in with my toys and stuff on my computer, which is great. Or I can just have it up on the monitor, and I have my toys in front of my monitor, and it blends in easier that way. So, yeah, I'm very excited that Battlefront 2 has got more attention as of lately, because I re-downloaded it and I started playing it, and I'm having fun. It's Star Wars, and this is the most immersed I've ever felt in a Star Wars game was Battlefront. As great as Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order is, and Jedi Academy, which still has the best lightsaber combat, or even Knights of the Old Republic, I feel more immersed here because I'm fighting for a cause, either for the Separatists, the Empire, the Rebellion, the clones, whatever. It feels fucking amazing. So I'm glad that has come back, and that's my spiel on Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2 is okay. It's all right. It's just all right.
It's great.
It is just a battle. It was just a Star Wars skinned Battlefield game.
That's
And
that's
nothing
exactly
wrong
what we
with it.
need.
There's
That's what we
nothing
wanted.
wrong with that, but it does get old quick.
For
Like
you.
it is just the same shit over and over again.
That's why Heroes versus Villains exists.
But then Heroes versus Villains gets old quick too.
It's because you're bad. It's okay.
Anyways, I'm glad that it's getting a resurgence because of people who like the game and enjoy it. It's just not for me. It's just not a for me game. Not my kind of shooter. It's good to pick up every once in a while, but I just can't sometimes.
But speaking of shooters, Doom the Dark Ages recently came out. People are loving it. And it's free on Game Pass, which
yes, it is.
Doom Dark Ages has a lower player count on PC because of that, because it's free on Game Pass as compared to Doom Eternal, which had a huge, I don't know the precise numbers, but Doom Dark Ages is around 10,000. Doom Eternal is around like 20,000, 23,000 players on Steam and whatnot. But yeah, mainly it's just because of Game Pass and people are loving it. This serves as a prequel game to the 2016 Doom. So this is before he gets his ungodly powers. But even then, the Doom Slayer just can't fucking die. Demons in Hell have tried for years to kill him. This guy just does not fucking die. He's insane. And even speaking more on the Doom Slayer Death Battle, recently had a video where it was ridiculous. It was Doom Slayer versus Master Chief. I knew the Doom Slayer was going to win. Master Chief is a badass, sure, but he's not thousands of years old, and he didn't fight infinite amount of fucking demons for thousands of years and die over and over and come back to life. The Doom Slayer did. But I will be buying that game eventually because I love those kind of games. And there is on the Good Smile Company website, there is a figure coming out soon. I don't know when it is. It just says to be announced. That'll come out the end of next year. But I'm waiting for the pre-order, and I'll pre-order the Dark Ages figure of the guy because I don't have the Doom Eternal one with the sword. I don't have $200 for that because scalpers ruined it for me. But yeah, do you intend on playing Dark Ages? I do intend to play it eventually. I've got too much right now to play personally. Yeah. I've got Expedition. I've got Clair Obscure, Expedition 33 downloaded on my console. Just have not touched it still. There's so much I do need to play before I can move on to another new game. And I've already got Elden Ring Night Ring coming out next week. So, that's the plight of being an MMO player since you're playing 14 is you have other games and you're like, but I'm playing an MMO. Playing an MMO is like having a job, basically. Just a little bit. Yeah, because you have to log in, do dailies, etc. I can totally play it like at any given time. And I probably take some more time this week to start playing it and get into it and do some streaming. Okay. But my big thing on the Doom Dark Ages hit is that even though we've got that low player count, we can't undersell just how big this game is. Like a low player count in one specific place is sure like a big thing, but like we have to look at the bigger numbers here too. The game itself has one of id Software's, if not the biggest id Software release of all time. Doom Dark Ages is on a 3 million selling high. Like that is huge. That's a lot. That is amazing. Way more than Eternal, obviously. In just in the first 3 weeks now it's been out. 4 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. It's been three. It's three. Something like that. I know it hasn't been long. I think maybe even 2 weeks. Holy shit. That's still impressive. 3 million copies. Still, 3 million copies in 2 weeks is a lot. So like, good on them. Like, this just goes to show that you made a good game when your game is selling like hotcakes and it's everywhere. And you're right though. The Game Pass thing does skew the numbers a bit, I think, because a lot of people who play on PC are definitely going to have that PC Game Pass. Xbox just makes it so functionally available. So good for Xbox. Integral to your gaming like library just to let it be. And it's not just happening on PC anymore. As we mentioned in our last podcast as well, there are multiple Xbox titles now coming to PlayStation. We had Forza Horizon 5 just released on Xbox about a month and a half ago. We've got the Gears of War remake coming to PlayStation when it releases, as well as the newly rumored we were just talking about it. I forgot what it was. We were just talking about it, literally just talking about it. I brought it up like 10 minutes before we started recording. Cyberpunk?
Brain fart.
No,
It's not Cyberpunk. It was another Xbox specific game.
I don't remember.
I forgot. I totally forgot, but I know it's there. It'll come back to me. I'll bring it up later in the episode sometime. But yeah, there's a lot of Xbox games coming to PlayStation now. Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga.
Yeah.
That's coming to PlayStation as well soon. Xbox is fulfilling that dream that Phil Spencer had of being an all existing ecosystem. It is not about where you play our game. It is just the fact that you are playing our games. Not to mention that the UI for Xbox that was leaked about a month ago did show that Steam tab, remember?
Yep.
So we're seeing that influx come back to Xbox with them offering you a chance to play Steam games off of your Xbox console, it would seem. We haven't heard more about it yet, but
awesome.
that is a huge thing because there's Microsoft. A lot of PC players who would go out of their way to buy a console if they could, have the console and play games or whatever. Obviously, they've got PCs already, but there are some people out there who may not have those grand PCs, those master fucking systems that just destroy consoles. And it is much easier and affordable for them to buy a console and just play their games off of there.
Yes,
it is a neat thing that's happening with the gaming industry as a whole and the way that ecosystems are changing. So sick, super fucking sick.
Fuck yeah.
But that's not the only thing that's coming to Xbox as well. We've also got this other MMO that you know so much about.
So much,
Chrono Odyssey.
A little bit. It's made by the company called Chrono Studios, brand new studio, but it's also published by a well-known studio called Kakao Games. If you don't know who Kakao Games is, Kakao is the one that published Pearl Abyss's game Black Desert Online. That is the one that put Kakao on the fucking map. Before, I remember when people were giving me shit, we're like, I don't trust this. I don't like new IP MMOs because I like to stick with Square Enix and Final Fantasy. I'm like, you guys are stupid. And then BDO came out in Korea, shit on everybody. It came out in America. Again, I will flaunt this game as much as I can. It costs $10 for a buy-to-play MMORPG. Okay, $10 fucking dollars. When it goes on sale on Steam, it's $1. And it's made its way, and Black Desert has made its way to Xbox, which is incredible. It's one of 5. Yeah, it's one of a few MMOs that have made it to console. Like other MMOs have been Final Fantasy 11. That was like the first one. People will say it's Phantasy Star is, but that's a CORPG, not an MMO. Final Fantasy 14. Terra currently exists on console only, not on PC because it's handled by a different studio. And now Black Desert Online and soon to be Chrono Odyssey, and gameplay just released recently because I saw Lazy Peon, one of my favorite MMO reviewers on YouTube. You should check him out. He gives really in-depth reviews on MMORPGs. But he showed the video of the gameplay, and the gameplay looks fantastic. The graphics look fantastic. Kakao Games in particular, the games that they handle have a lot of dynamic combat when it comes to MMORPGs. Instead of standing there and tab targeting and like, oh, my attack's gonna land anyway. This is more of I'm gonna shoot you like in an action RPG, and if it hits you, great. If it misses, shit, I missed. I have to aim better based, because there's a smaller hitbox or whatever. But I highly recommend going. Yeah, I highly recommend going to check out Kakao's other games that they published. But yeah, I have high faith in this one, and it's great. I like seeing that more MMOs are heading towards console. I don't care about the mobile market, and I'm glad it's not a mobile MMO because I always get disappointed when I see a new MMO and it's like coming to mobile. I'm like, I don't fucking care. It's not going to be as great as console or PC because there's so much more to do with a console and PC. You can auto attack everything on a mobile MMO. That's why it makes it boring, in my opinion. But I'm very excited for that, and I can't wait for that to come out. There's no release date, but it's coming out.
Yeah. The gameplay that was shown and displayed was it was interesting because you had a weapon swapping kind of base or foundation for the gameplay. So for those of you who may or may not be familiar with it, there are other action games where weapon swapping is a very big integral part of your character's gameplay dynamic. My brain took another massive crap right now. I can't remember any other ones where it's super important, but like Monster Hunter goes with weapon swapping.
Black Desert does have weapon swapping, specifically because I'm just cutting in here. When you reach level 56, you can awaken your character and you access your other weapons. For me, I was a sword and board warrior. So it was a sword and shield character. Once I get to 56, I unlocked the great sword. So what you would do is you'd use the great sword, attack, and then you go on a defensive, you equip your sword and shield, and you wait for, to defend and whatnot in PvP or whatever. But yeah, I love games that have weapon swapping.
Yeah.
Continue.
Weapon swapping is cool. And there's a couple of older single player action RPGs that come to mind, like was it Kingsworn? No, it's Forsworn. Kingdoms of Amalur. There you go. That game had a very similar concept of that one had a very similar concept of weapon swapping being a major part, where you equip two different weapons and your combos switch back and forth between those two different types of weapons, and you could do anything really depending on how you built your character. You could be sword, and then you could be a fucking dagger wielder, or you could use a chakram and you could use a bow and arrow, or you could be a bow and arrow and a magic caster, or you could be a double magic caster. There was all sorts of weird, cool combinations you could make out in that game, and I think that weapon swapping dynamic in action games makes things a lot more interesting and makes me feel like I'm breaking more of a mold and making a unique character or a unique zone, as opposed to how being forced in you are with certain other things like a standard classic MMORPG where you pick your one class and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, because even in like real life, if you're in a fight, if you can't use your sword, you got to switch to like a dagger because you're closer or something. You can't use your longbow if you're an archer all the time. If they're close, you got to switch to a short bow or something else. So yeah, I like those too.
Call me old fashioned. I like classic MMO style action.
As do I.
Fighting.
I like both.
Like you said, tab targeting. That's my spiel. Like, I was not a big fan of Black Desert Online. I just couldn't do it. The combat to me did not feel satisfying. It did not scratch the itch that I get if I'm playing something like God of War or something similar. But that being said, it is still a very popular game. I cannot deny that fact. I cannot deny the millions and millions of people who play and subscribe, such as yourself, to that sort of game. And to each their own sort of thing. But yeah, I'm super excited because they had like other stuff in the gameplay showing like maneuvering around town, climbing up obstacles and random things, basically parkouring your way through a village in the beginning of it. And it looked really fun. Like, it looks very what's the word? It looks like it involves you. It's very interactive with you and very dynamic in the way you choose to play the game. And I like games like that. So that one's going to be on my radar, and I can't wait to see that. But speaking of things that are on the radar, there's so much stuff on this list. Holy shit.
Well, that's just a list of, do you want to go I could name them off quickly.
No, because that one's one that I feel like is a good conversation thing, like that.
Okay.
We will get to this top 25 JRPGs as according to IGN. I have words for certain things on it, but we'll
I bet you do.
No, and don't get me wrong. I have words for and against it. There's things on there, but I do want to talk about those because those things, JRPGs are my shit. I love these. Like,
both of our
all these titles on here are great titles. They are great games. Don't get me wrong. Actually, one of them on there shouldn't be on there, but I'm not going to mention that yet.
Wow. Okay.
We'll swing over to some rumors out of CD Projekt Red. Cyberpunk Orion. You have the article up, I believe. I think I have it up too, but we
the
have
article on GamePressure.com. Yes, written
he's got
by
one from
Olga
GamePressure.
Rasinoswaka. Can't say her name. Whatever.
Oh God.
Continue.
I've got one from Andy Robinson on VGC.
Go ahead.
They're basically going to be the same article for all intents and purposes. Essentially, we've got the creator of the Cyberpunk IP. So for those of you who don't know, Cyberpunk started off as a tabletop RPG back in the 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, something like that.
Long time ago.
The person who created it is Mr. Mike Pondsmith. He is also the founder of the company that created these games and developed them, called I always pronounce it wrong. Talsorian Games. They are, if I'm not mistaken, they are also the people who created Cyberpunk Red, which is a more modern version of the Cyberpunk tabletop, which is more closely rooted and based on the 2077 kind of aspects. I did. I still do. I think it's a really fucking awesome thing. But he spoke at a developers conference over the when was this? Over last weekend? Yeah. And he spoke to about game development and how things run, and I'm not sure the exact specifics of that thing, but did get around to them talking about Project Orion, which is Cyberpunk's 2077 sequel. And he went on to speak saying, I'm not as involved in the script as I was in the first one, but I poke my head through the departments, basically saying he peeks in, sees things that here and there, and kind of gets to see the script. And from that, we've got news that this game will be featuring not only Night City as a locale, but also a more rundown Chicago gone wrong style kind of city.
You'll be able to go to and from.
Yes, very open world. Same thing with the open world Cyberpunk thing, but you will be able to travel back and forth between these two cities.
Yeah.
The project for Cyberpunk Orion is being helmed by the Boston and Vancouver studios, which is the new North American arm of CD Projekt Red. So there's a lot going on there. We get to see that there is a much bigger idea going on behind the scenes. We've got two cities. And if Cyberpunk is any indicator of this, Night City is going to be its own huge thing, and this new city is also going to be its own huge, massive thing. If you recall, Night City is difficult as fuck to navigate without a map.
Oh, yeah.
It is massive, just fucking massive. It takes time to get through that city, and it's insane. That alone is just newsworthy for me. Thinking about it, I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, how does that make you feel about it? Knowing that you've got this whole different giant fucking map you're gonna have to explore on top.
I'm excited. I love massively open worlds like that. Like as much as people are sick and tired, I know Simon is sick and tired of a lot of open world stuff, and some people prefer more linearity and what have you. Yeah. I like the open worldness when it's because it reminds me of like Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto has gotten so big today, especially with 5. And then now 6 even every game is more massive than the last map wise and content wise. But I'm excited for this with Cyberpunk because I always thought, what about the other cities in this game? Like, why are we always just in Night City? I'm like, can't we go to other cities? We couldn't. We could just go to the outskirts and what have you. Yeah. So I'm excited for that because it helps me stay immersed in a game when I can go to other massive locations, which is kind of why I'll always like Skyrim and Oblivion, stuff like that, because I can go to all these massive cities in the game whenever I feel like it. And each city has their own quest chains and quest lines and whatever that make it special. So I'm very excited for that. I can't wait to see how amazing it'll be. Hopefully it'll have a much smoother launch than before, and it won't be made for crappy gen consoles like it was before, like PS4 and whatnot. Like that was not a good idea.
There were grand designs, and I think it could have worked, but because I think obviously the early release of the game kind of worked against it. On top of it, also having not enough time put forward to kind of focus down on those older consoles. I think
they were being rushed a lot by the publisher, weren't they? To just get it out. And they're like, no, we need to delay it because it's not perfect. And then they learned the hard way. Yeah, we should have waited. But for me as a PC player, I played it like a couple months after it released, and I didn't have the only problems I had were funny bugs, like Bethesda bugs is what I call them, where I am walking and I park my bike. And then I come back to the bike, and then there's a car just there, and the car explodes because the bike was colliding with the model of the car. That shit was hilarious. I have clips of that goofy shit. But yeah, I hope the next game launches more smoothly. That would be nice.
That would be great. We'll be hopeful, but I mean, this news is welcome. We're definitely going to get a much more accurate, I think, because the game's being developed by an American studio for all intents and purposes. I think that we're going to really get a much more vibrant feel of an American city than we did in the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. I'm super excited. Can't wait to see how it all turns out and how it looks. But you know what else? I'm super excited to see what turns out and looks like. This Pokemon Gamma Emerald hack.
Oh, you haven't
I'm
seen...
gonna call it a hack right now because it is, it's not necessarily a
it's not a full game, it's a demo.
It is not a sanctioned Pokemon game,
no.
But it is definitely something to keep an eye out on. This is another one of those moments where we look at an indie developer or a solo developer and say, damn, man, you put in fucking work and you made something look really fucking good.
Something that Nintendo can't seem to fucking do.
Cannot seem
with
to do.
Their Pokemon IP specifically.
Don't get me wrong. It's not necessarily Nintendo's fault. It is probably more Game Freak's fault. But yeah. I digress. Pokemon Gamma Emerald is a demo-only version of a redo of Emerald. It runs an
Unreal Engine. Yeah, it's basically 2D graphics, sprites plus the 3D environment of Unreal Engine 5. Yeah. So it's a mixture of like let's see, Octopath Traveler feel with like Golden Sun. I would say at least for combat, because like once battle happens in these videos that I've seen, the camera zooms in. Much like a Golden Sun game would, which those games were fun when I played them on GBA.
Those are great games.
Oh, so yeah. I never beat them, sadly.
Oh, yeah. Really let that Wisconsin come out of you, didn't it?
Shut the fuck up. No, but it would be cool to see games like this in the future with Pokemon, but that's not going to happen because the Game Freak is dumb. But I am just impressed that a fan was able to do it.
Absolutely. For those of you who want to see it, I'm going to ask Sniffles to put a link down there so you guys can get to it really easy.
See if I remember.
Just a real quick thing. It's super cool. It's super fun. And I think you guys will really enjoy it too. But let's move on to this next part or we can just run through movie stuff real quick if you want. That way we can get it done and we'll close out everything on the top 25.
Movie stuff. Okay, hold on, wait. Yeah.
Except for the GTA 6 trailer. The GTA 6 trailer, everyone knows about that. Oh, okay. And we all know it's delayed until 2026. Like, this is bullshit. Who said it was going to happen? It's fucking happened.
And speaking more on that, what else got delayed? Avengers Doomsday and fucking Secret Wars got delayed to... Doomsday got delayed to December, and Secret Wars got delayed to December of 2027. So it's this... Okay, of course that was going to happen. It's Marvel. It's Disney. They don't have a fucking plan at all. Like, their script wasn't even finished, and they just started filming. Like, the script isn't done. What are you doing? Yeah. They don't learn. They don't. It's probably just to appease the shareholders, but still, the shareholders are stupid.
It has to be. Yeah.
It's always that. They want results now.
You got to prove to your investors that you're going to put out, essentially.
Yeah. Got to put out. More movie. Well, this is TV show stuff. Sam Witwer explains a bit of the premise for Maul Shadow Lord, because there wasn't really much to go on when that was announced during Star Wars Celebration. Basically, he explained that this happens right after the Clone Wars ends, and he has to build up his criminal empire, and he's watching as the galaxy is falling apart, and the empire that his old master runs is creating to control the entire galaxy, and he has to find a way to survive in this environment because he's not used to that. And also he's taking on a new apprentice to corrupt and whatever to help him out with his endeavors. So that should be quite interesting. We have a release date finally for The Hunt for Gollum. It arrives December 17th, 2027. So praying that, Sir Ian McKellen doesn't pass away before shooting happens or during shooting, because he even said himself he wants to play Gandalf as much as he can before he's gone, which is great. I don't know how they're going to drag that story out into a 2.5-hour film, because even the fan film that was made years ago when I was in college, that's on YouTube right now, that originally got taken down, but I think Warner Brothers decided to keep it up anyway because it's only a fan film. It's only 40 minutes long. All it is just, it's the story of Aragorn finding Gollum, and interrogating him about the ring and all this other stuff, and he runs into Gandalf and whatever. I'm not going to spoil it, but I don't know how they're going to drag that out. But regardless, I'm going to watch it anyway because it's more Middle Earth stuff that's interesting. Not Rings of Power, because that's not Middle Earth.
Yeah, I mean, it seems cool.
Yeah,
I would like to watch something like that.
yeah, and Andy Serkis is
Something
gonna
that's
kick ass
rooted
anyway.
Anything with Andy Serkis tends to be very good.
Oh
anyways.
hell yeah,
he's a great actor, amazing actor. Really love him.
He's also in Claire Obscure. Yep. I didn't know that. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
more
Andy
other
Serkis
movie.
has his hand in everything.
Yes. More movie stuff. Godzilla X Kong Supernova got announced. It's going to be released March 26, 2027.
Yep.
If you are a big fan of the Godzilla universe, that's the MonsterVerse that's happening now, I suggest you check this out when it comes out. My dad is the biggest Godzilla fan I know on the fucking planet. He's seen all the movies. He knows every detail, behind the scenes, on the scenes, everything. And he's like, I know what this is. This is Space Godzilla. He knows Space Godzilla is going to come out of nowhere and shit. Space Godzilla is one of the few characters that can whoop Godzilla's ass. That's what he tells me. I don't know anything about him. I know he's ugly and he's got big ass volcano shoulders for some reason. They're ugly. So that's going to be fun. I can't wait to see that because those are movies you can just turn your brain off to watch giant kaiju fight each other.
Yeah.
Just like Pacific Rim with mechs and everything.
Yep. And then we got announcement for the Elden Ring movie. Alex Garland is directing. For those of you who may or may not know who Alex Garland is, he is the person behind the 28 movies. 28 days, 28 weeks, 28 years now.
All of that. He made Ex Machina, an A24 film in the past, which is also really good. I haven't seen it, but all my classmates when I was in college were saying this is really good. He also made the Dread movie in 2012.
And then in more recent filmography, he's done Civil War and Warfare. Both pretty good A24 movies. Didn't get to watch Civil War, but I heard really good things about it. Same thing with Warfare. Warfare is really new, actually. That one I think just came out last month or something like that. That one's about the soldiers who get stuck in the war zone. It's based off of Iraq war times, along with what do you call it? The person who worked with them on the movie was actually a veteran who went through these kinds of situations. So as a consultant on it and helped kind of build up the scenes that you see in that movie. Alex Garland, really cool, really great. I'm excited. I think he's going to do great. I don't know. I have no idea what story he's going to tell in Elden Ring.
Me either.
I'm super curious. It'll be really neat. It's really
interesting because you know more than I do, and so do Simon. He as soon as I told Simon was like, "What the fuck? How is this going to work?" I'm like, "What do you mean?"
I have no idea.
There's so much lore in that universe. How are you going to confine it to a 2.5 hour movie? That's like it would have to be a series of probably like 12 movies to get over all the story, which is insane.
I think you can skip over certain little things to kind of give yourself the specifics. If you're just going with the restoration of the Golden Ring story, then you kind of just, which is, I believe, the main story scenario, the canon story scenario, whatever you want to call it. If you're going through just that, it's not so much. You just kind of got to give some backstory to beginnings and then give a little bit of information on who the main players are in that story. And you don't really have to bring those characters back into the movie ever again because you're not playing through the multiple paths of the Elden Ring.
I only have one request because, you know, the Dark Souls fan, From Software is a big fan of it. I got to see the Dragon Slayer in there somewhere. Just a peek. Give me the great sword that everyone loves, that I love. Just peek it in there like they do every game. That's all I want to see.
I bet you $5 that at some point in the movie, the main character of the movie, the Tarnished, is going to walk by into an armory, look for swords, walk by, see a giant Dragon Slayer there, and just be like, "Well, that's too big," and just walk away.
It would be hilarious if this movie. Well, it would be great if this movie was successful, but it'd be even more hilarious if like he decided to make a Berserk live action. That would be like in the style of Elden Ring. That'd be fucking cool because that would work. Because you know it's dark and gritty.
It could work
and depressing, just like Berserk. So it could totally work that way.
It could work.
But yeah,
that sounds cool. It's a project I'm really looking forward to. I can't wait to see a trailer at least so I can see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
But let's move on to our final topic for today. We are going to talk about this IGN top 25 JRPGs of all time.
I can list them off really fast, and then you can go into the.
there is a thing with it, but I would like to. We don't need to like fucking rapid fire this. Let's just go through it together as a friend group, as family.
Okay.
Family.
I don't know a lot of some of these games. Like
we'll talk about them.
We'll start at the bottom of IGN's top JRPGs of all time. 25.
Starting from 25 all the way to 1.
Yeah. First one is Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. Never heard of it.
Great game. Shin Megami Tensei is the series that Persona was born off of as a spin-off. Shin Megami Tensei is much more dark, a more dark kind of side of the Persona stories. Don't get me wrong, Persona is plenty dark itself, but Shin Megami Tensei is more bound in not realism, but more darker aspects and darker like storylines.
Speaking of Persona, Nocturne. We did get like a little teaser. Sidebarring this, we got a little teaser like with some audio over Persona 4's remake that's coming out, which I know that's your favorite one.
Supposedly.
So when that comes out, I will play it because I'm keen on it based on your story. But anyway, the next one is... I'll believe it
when I fucking see it.
Fair enough. That's the truth. We need a trailer to see it. Next is Breath of Fire 3. Never heard of it.
Classic JRPG. Breath of Fire series, amazing. 1 and 2. Played as a kid. Super Nintendo. Good times, honestly. Very much in the style of Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
In the vein of that kind of JRPG.
Super Nintendo. Yeah. Next is
Golden Sun.
I played the first one. I played the second one more. I loved it. It was epic.
I played both. The story between 1 and 2, amazing. Really good. I think it's a little low on this list personally. I would definitely bump it up a little bit higher on there, but I think I'm glad it made that top 25.
Is that the only like GBA JRPG that has like the mixture of 2D and 3D ish stuff, at least with the camera movements?
At the time, yeah.
I feel like that's what really stood out to me. That was really cool.
Yeah, it's the only one. Let me see here. They're using. Okay. Actually, it's the only one in that sense that came that way.
Yeah, and that to me, that's what made it special because I'm like, oh my god, none of the other JRPGs are like this, especially on Game Boy Advance. I'm like, I gotta play the shit out of it. I wish I beat it though, but I don't know where my copy went and whatnot. So I probably lost it, or my brother stole it.
Play it. I'm sure you could play it in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I own it legally, so haha.
Next one, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch.
Never heard. Well, I've heard of it. Never paid attention to it.
Good game. Did not play the whole thing. Played it to a point. Back then we had game rentals because that's what time and era I came from. Good times. Yeah. I have been meaning to go back and replay it and kind of get through the whole story, but the story of it is pretty good. The movie does a decent job of kind of going through that. Not bad. I think it's an accurate spot.
Okay.
The next one I find very interesting is
I'm happy.
Lost Odyssey.
It's
because nobody knows about that game.
No, it was the first JRPG on Xbox 360. It was incredible. It's the only. It's like one of the
most
golden gems
JRPG.
It is like it can't fucking come to PC or be remastered. Nope. I don't know why. It's like just it's never gonna happen. Like Fable 2 is never gonna come to PC. It's fucking hell.
Basically.
But it's an amazing game. You guys should check it out. The combat is great. The visuals are great. The story is great. Yeah, I love that game. And I still have
a quick synopsis. Quick synopsis for those people who don't know about this game.
Synopsis. Yes. Give me
Oh my god.
I don't remember the fucking story. Dude, I played this shit a long time ago. It's basically so it's set in a world where there's a magic industrial revolution happening where magic energy exists in all creatures beforehand, and it suddenly becomes far more powerful in 30 years before the beginning of the game. Because of this, it changed society greatly with devices called magic engines that can harness, the power of for lightning, automobiles, communication, like a fucking phone, for example, and whatnot. And so only a select few people could wield magic, and now there's more people can wield magic. So it's dealing with a lot of that, with basically the birth of magic happening in society and adjusting to that, and people use it. And there's something called a giant, the Grand Staff, which is a giant magical machine engine that is used by a certain group of people, won't say until you play the game, that's actively pursuing magic to harness it for their own instead of other people. So there's politics in it, just like any other great JRPG game, but it's also very interesting. And I wish they remade this shit because people would fucking love it today. It was very well done. I enjoyed playing it when I was younger. That's it for you.
Okay. No, I'll be honest. I don't remember a lot about it, but I do remember playing it. Remembering it was at a time where JRPGs were so, what's the word?
They weren't as popular.
They weren't as popular, but I grew up on them, so obviously I played them when they would come around. But at the time, like, they were just very unique, very different.
There you go.
Very, very captivating, if you would. Compared to how I feel a lot of them are now. They all feel a little bit too cookie cutter sometimes. But back then, the ideas were fresh, and I enjoyed it. Next one. What is that? 1, 2.
That is Star Ocean, the
3,
second story.
4.
I don't know anything about that because I've only played till the end of time. Yeah.
So number 19, Star Ocean second story. This is the second Star Ocean game. Oh, I'll go on this one. Star Ocean being a very unique kind of JRPG at the time, allowing you to move your character while in battle and choosing different attacks to set up from different zones and areas. Certain attacks couldn't be performed from a certain distance. You had to be long range or you had to be close range. And that is the kind of game that Star Ocean was. Second story being the sequel to the first one. Very well done. Very great story. Very classic JRPG aspects. Very fun. I like it. It's on my
wish list. Yeah.
Yes, that's a good one. And I do believe them all. I do believe they remade. They did a remake for the first one, and they recently remade the second one. That's right.
They remade I remember they remade the first one because the director of the project was like, I feel like he took it on because he's like, I feel like people don't know what this is, so I'm going to remake it. Like that is the best reason to remake a game. It's just like, I think people should see this.
Yeah, and I mean it's an old game. The original Star Ocean came out in like 91.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Long ass time ago.
Something like that. It was before I was old enough to play it, but I did get around to it as a teenager playing these old JRPGs. Number 18 on the list, Bravely Default.
Never played it. No,
Bravely Default 2. A DS. Was it 3DS? I think Bravely Default 2 was 3DS, right?
I don't remember that.
It was a DS title. DS title. Very. How do I put it? If you can recall, there were some RPGs. There were some Final Fantasy remake or remasters. Like Final Fantasy 3. Where the characters were very short, stubby, kind of chibi looking, but they were in 3D models, very similar. It is a Square Enix game.
I see what you
mean. It is very.
It's like Crystal Chronicles.
Crystal Chronicles. There we go.
Like that. I remember that game. That was
very, very Final Fantasy. It is a Final Fantasy game in everything but name, basically.
Yeah.
You pick a character, you choose your class, and you make a team of fighters, and I think you had like what? 10 or 12 different characters to pick from or something like that.
I wish that was on Steam. I would play that shit.
That one felt more like a classic JRPG for its time.
Oh wait, it is. Never mind.
it was cool though. It was not a bad game. I'm glad it made it up there because Bravely Default is definitely something worth mentioning when it comes to JRPGs, especially around the time it came out, being on a handheld device as opposed to a console release. Live Alive is a Octopath Traveler style kind of RPG. It is an older one, and it did get a remaster. It did get a 2.5D remake recently.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm adding to my wish list too. Fuck yeah.
Kind of a game where you go through a bunch of different character stories, and you kind of just live through these things. And it is, again, just like the list mentions, it is a classic JRPG in that sense. Cool. Very fun. The storytelling in this game is what really stood out, I think. Being able to go through these separate anthological kind of stories makes the game a lot more fun.
Square Enix is good with story. Yep.
Yeah, they're great with stories, and maybe they don't always hit for everybody, but this one I think was a good enough mix of different genres and styles to kind of hit the nail on the head for a RPG.
Next is
did you play any of these next ones?
No, I didn't play. I haven't played a single Tales game. I have Tales of Symphonia, which I know people are like, oh my god, it's good. I have Tales of Vesperia. I have Tales of. Hold on.
You have Tales of Vesperia and you haven't played it?
Dude, I have so much shit to play. Okay, I have Tales. What the hell is it? Tales of Arise. I have Tales of Symphonia. A great one.
I love Tales Zestiria is okay. I'd say play Tales of Arise or Vesperia first.
Okay.
Arise if you want a more modern Tales game. Vesperia if you want the real experience, because Tales of Vesperia is probably one of the best, if not the best.
It's a JRPG. I'll play it. It's fine.
I'm not biased. It's more of a Star Ocean style JRPG.
That's fine.
So you go into battle, you control your characters, move around, and you do certain attacks from certain ranges, etc., etc. Very fun, very good story. Follows a tale of Flynn. What's the other guy's name? It's been a while since I played it.
I don't know.
I was going to say, is it?
I don't fucking know. I told you I haven't played it. Why would his name be Billy? That'd be stupid in a Square Enix game.
It wouldn't be that stupid. This is for those of you who are trivia nerds. Vesperia is the 19th Tales game that had come out in the series. The 19th mainline entry, mind you. I don't
know if I told you that my brother's kid, his daughter, my niece, is named after a character in Tales of Symphonia, Presea. I don't know what character that is in Symphonia, but that's where he got it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Video game names are better than normal names for some parts. Yeah.
This is not Flynn. I think Flynn's from Tales of Symphonia. I can't remember. Like I just mentioned, there's a lot of fucking Tales games.
Yeah. A lot of Tales games, a lot of Trails games, a lot of Final Fantasy games, a lot of everything. Ugh.
Yeah.
So if I have like 60 hours to put aside, then I'll play a fucking JRPG.
Let's see here. This is the one with Flynn. Flynn's the knight. So Yuri and Flynn, they're friends. I believe they're friends. Yeah, friends.
You were slowly convincing me to switch to streaming a Tales game this year, man.
Dude, fucking do it. Tales games are great.
Oh, I do have a question though before we continue. These are like Final Fantasies in that they're completely different stories per game? None of them are intertwined?
Tales game, there's very few times where the Tales games intertwine and tell a different, the same story or a continuation. Most of the Tales games are anthological. It's an anthological series.
Okay.
But Tales of Vesperia, one of my favorites. I really like Yuri and Flynn. They're both really good characters, really good main characters in my opinion. I like them better as characters than I do the characters in Arise. The characters in Arise are definitely more on the. It's more of a freedom fighting kind of story from Tales of Arise, whereas Tales of Vesperia kind of fits that classic fantasy vibe in terms of the storyline. Chasing down some villains to save the princess, sort of stuff.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. But it's good. Tales of Vesperia being on here over the other Tales games is definitely a big choice, which is one big point I want to make on this list for people who are listening for this list and wondering why are they choosing this one instead of this one or this one instead of that one. There is a very big reason. There's a very big reason. It is not only just because of the quality of the game, which could be said of many of those Tales games that the quality is very similar and the story is just as good. These are the ones that made the biggest impact to JRPGs at their time. So Star Ocean, changing the format of what a JRPG is in terms of having free roaming characters and making it more action RPG oriented in battle. Ni no Kuni, changing the way that we approach storytelling in an RPG. Shin Megami Tensei, that whole series is all about how gritty and dark, and it doesn't need to be like lighthearted fantasy. It can be that heavy kind of story. Golden Sun, showing that you don't need massive fucking hardware to run an amazing, well-written, well-made, well-programmed JRPG. These games on this list, these games solidify and exude that excellence that makes a JRPG a JRPG. And the next one is one I don't fully agree with being on this list that I wanted to mention earlier.
I wish it was higher on the list.
They put Kingdom Hearts 2 on here. I don't think it's a JRPG. I don't think it follows a lot of the JRPG.
It's more an action RPG.
Aspects.
It's not.
It is, but
yeah, it's not classic RPG.
It doesn't fit the JRPG hit. And sure, I'll give them whatever. This is number 16, by the way.
Yeah,
it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. Kingdom Hearts 2, again, of all the 70 Kingdom Hearts games that exist, this one is on the list because of the whole series, it does the most for the genre.
Yeah, it does. And it has like the best story out of all of them because it introduces a lot of new elements, but for me, it's like you can play this right after Kingdom Hearts 1 and still understand most of it. You don't really need to play Chain of Memories. You can if you want to, but it's not homework like when you get to Kingdom Hearts 3 and you got to play all the sub games before the main game. That shit is a nightmare. With 2, it's more solid and giving you what is going on for the player, you know?
Gotta play fucking Birth by Sleep, 358 over 2 days.
Gotta play Dream Drop Distance. You gotta watch Union Cross.
Drop Distance. Yeah.
You gotta, God, fuck all that.
Yeah, no, but it's all fucked.
Hell no.
It did get bad after Kingdom Hearts 2.
And then 2 point, what is it? It's 2.8 fragmentary message where they're just experimenting with the Unreal Engine 4 engine instead of using the Square Enix engine, which is capped at 30 FPS. Yeah. But no, like, funny. And this one is the one that always pulls me specifically back because like I'll see reels because it has my favorite song. I prefer Sanctuary over Simple and Clean. Simple and Clean, I understand, is the song for Kingdom Hearts, but I prefer Sanctuary because it's so good. It's never been remixed at all. They've remixed the shit out of Simple and Clean. So it's like,
you could say that the song was so good that you had to make multiple versions of it because it was so good. There has to be more of it.
Yeah, I love Sanctuary, but yeah, going back to what, like, I like Kingdom Hearts 2. I've seen reels this week and I'm just like, God, I forgot how much emotional shit just watching cutscenes puts me through. I'm like, I want to go back and play it, but I'm like, I'm gonna get lost and ignore everything else that I'm currently playing. I'm like, I can't do that. I love the Kingdom Hearts universe, and 2 is fantastic. But again, it's not a typical RPG, JRPG.
Obviously, my opinion doesn't matter to whoever wrote this at IGN or who have you, but if this game is on this list indeed, and I have to let it sit there, which obviously I do.
Like
in
my
head,
number 3.
In my head, this game sits at 25 hard. It is a solid 25 on the top 25 because one, it does not cover the most grounds of JRPGs, and while it is a great game and a good game and I love it, I don't think it does much for being a JRPG as these other games have, like especially
I agree.
Over games like Star Ocean or Golden Sun or Shin Megami Tensei. Like, I don't believe that it contributed enough to change the game.
Or even Pokemon. Yeah.
Or even Pokemon. Pokemon is a debatable JRPG, but we'll get to that in a second.
It's RPG.
So the next few we'll run through. Grandia, it's amazing. One of the classic JRPGs, actually. I'm on a run through of playing the first one over again, and then I'm going to hop to Grandia 2. But Grandia 2 is a good game. I think it's at a good spot.
HD remasters on
yes.
Okay, I'll fucking add that to my wish
list.
I
think Grandia
Lunar.
is a good one. Yeah,
which I also have on my wish list.
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is on there.
I don't think that should be on here. I think the first game should be on here. Not like Jose's told me, the story in Infinite Wealth is mid compared to the story in just Like a Dragon, which I played last year, the first one, and it was what a fucking story. And I've explained this in a previous podcast. It is phenomenal. But I guess according to fans, Infinite Wealth just should not be there. It should be the previous game.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. I don't think Infinite Wealth should be on here. I think the original should be on there, but who am I? That's not my list. I didn't write it. So
writer's list, whoever that is.
Like a Dragon being on there at all, though, is a very good sign that people at least understand what it brought to the genre of JRPGs.
Yeah, it's the first, like a Dragon series that started with the 7th Yakuza game is completely different from 1 to 6. For those of you who don't know, 1 to 6 are just beat 'em up brawlers. These ones are JRPGs. There's turn-based combat and whatnot. And yes, they do go back.
Unique combat systems.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like one of the weirdest things that happens is like when you start a battle, typically when JRPG battle, the screen has like a transition and you go to like a battle stage, whatever, in whatever area you're in. But in this game, when you go to that battle stage, the enemies don't look like they do outside of the battle stage. They completely change their appearance because the main character is projecting them that way. It's like, oh, I'm going to be in this fight. This is how I imagine the character is going to be, so they're going to look like that. It's like you're bringing your imagination to life, and that's further enhanced with the main character transforming into like a suit of armor because he's like, I'm the main character of my own story. It's ridiculous, and I highly recommend going to play that. It's one of the greatest games I've ever played.
It's a good game. Very good game. Very good RPG.
The next one I haven't played either.
I was gonna say we're gonna hop through the next up until the top 10 because
that's fine.
I can give you quick synopses of all of these. Xenogears,
never played
very neat JRPG, has to do with it, as you know, with every JRPG, it is basically an anime story. Good series. Haven't gotten around to replaying them in a long time, so I am very rusty on it. But Xenogears being at number, what is that? 15? 5, 4, 3, 2, 14.
Yeah,
14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Yeah, okay. Being at 14, I think that's right. I think that's right about around the same spot I would put a Xenogears on this list. Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door.
I've only played the first one.
13. Again, I think that's more of a recency bias kind of thing. And my child won't leave my stuff alone.
I kind of wish Super Mario RPG was on there because that one was more. That's the one that fucking put Square and Nintendo together for the first time ever. And then they're like, hey, we're going to come back and here's a remake for the Switch. Like, what?
I think Paper Mario has a lot more charm than Super Mario RPG.
More people like it, yeah.
Just in its art style and its story, I liked it. It was more unique, I think, than Super Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG was literally just a RPG with Mario in it.
Which is why
Paper Mario introduced a lot more concepts, such as the paper universe in Mario.
Oh yeah.
All the neat little things you can do in the game, the different ways that you interact with stuff. I think Paper Mario is a good pick for there. At number 13, number 12. I'm not 100% sure on Octopath Traveler 2. I have heard good things. I have not played it. I played the first one. I loved the first one.
How many? Did you play all the classes?
Yes, I played through all the stories.
Fuck. Okay.
I really did enjoy it. I really did like it a lot. Not sure how I feel about 2 being on there. I think the first one would have been better as it was a turning point for RPGs and JRPGs at that time. It was one of the first 2.5D RPGs that we had gotten to see. So very much built in Unreal Engine, very beautiful, very fascinating pre-rendered backgrounds that we don't get to see very often anymore in RPGs.
Continue.
Very good gameplay, very good mechanics in the gameplay. The combat was unique enough in a sense that it kept you engaged without it just being your basic point and click kind of RPG stuff. They added enough gimmicks, I would say, into it to keep you preoccupied and excited to get into the next battle, as opposed to some of these other JRPGs that are kind of very basic point and click kind of stuff.
I was going to interject with a sidebar. There's a streamer I just found on like Instagram. I don't know his name, but I saw his video and he was explaining what makes another interesting fact about Clair Obscur, like why it's great, is there's pre-rendered backgrounds in there. And he was looking at it. He's like, this is a cutscene. He's like, no, this isn't a cutscene. This is the gameplay. And he goes into this. They restored a lost gem of which I've discussed this in the episode we were talked about our favorite game stories with Final Fantasy X and how that was like one of the last games to have pre-rendered backgrounds and to admire the beauty and artwork that goes into just having a stationary background and having your characters move through the art piece. Yeah, I'm glad that they brought that back in Clair Obscur, so that makes me want to buy that game even more. But yeah, you were anyway. Continue. The next game on the list I played for a little bit, but I need to dedicate time for is called The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. And there's a lot of games. There's Trails of 1, 2, 3, and then there's Trails and Cold Steel, which are the 3D games, not the pixel games, which I also need to play. Have you played those ones? I don't.
I've played a couple, but I've never played them all the way through.
They also have an anime,
there's a
too.
bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Trails in the Sky.
Supposedly they're very good. They are all right. They're not that bad. I enjoy them when I did try them, but there's just so many. And if you want to get into the Legends of Heroes story, you got to do it in a certain order, or else you're just super fucked in the story. Like it's. I think it's a little bit too much for one person at a time to be at number 11, but I respect that the built history in it and the story and everything. The way that everything connects between all of the games is actually very interesting and unique.
Oh, they're all connected. Okay, that's cool.
Yes. So I allow it, but I think it's a bit heavy on a lot of stuff for any random Joe Schmo to jump in and be like, I want to learn about this game. It's going to take a lot of time and focus and preparation and playing to like get the fucking feel for that.
Yeah.
But there's your first 15. Now we're on the top 10, which I think we'll have a lot more to talk about.
Yes.
Much more input. We might even just skip through a few of the lower 5 to get to the top 5 real quick.
Yeah, not to drag it out.
Pokemon Gold and Silver at number 10.
I question whether or not it's a JRPG. I put yellow there instead because like you got to play with fucking Pikachu. That was cool.
Yellow's cool. It did do something, but it did not change much about the Pokemon series. Gold and Silver did with the addition of the Johto's
That's
the Johto
right. You
region,
can go to 2 regions
on top of being able to go back to the Kanto region and play that whole section all over again.
Team
For
Silver,
what it was in its time, Gold and Silver were amazing games.
Oh yeah,
and just way more worth a bang for your buck than any other game that existed at the time.
That was great.
You had all the Pokemon. You had a whole 251. Like that's insane. And 2 different zones to go through with multiple story or whatever. Like it's pretty fucking cool.
Oh yeah.
Suikoden 2.
Never played that either.
Suikoden games. Suikoden.
It also has an HD remaster.
It does. I want to get it. I've been meaning to get it, but I just, again, too many different things to play. Don't want to add another RPG to that one. Suikoden, very famously known as the game that you can play and has way too many main characters. I believe for number 2, the total characters was 110.
What the fuck?
I think.
Damn, it's a lot.
If I'm not, I could be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I could be totally wrong. But very unique JRPG. Very similar to the Saga series.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
In the sense that there's so many fucking characters to play through, as well as not necessarily the lineage part, but definitely a shit ton of characters. Very fun, very cool. Definitely try it if you haven't. Number 9 on this list, I think I'd take that. Earthbound at number 7. Very old, very good.
Never played it.
For those of you who don't know what Earthbound is, it is the game series that Ness originated from Super Smash Brothers. Very out of this world, very, very fucking cool. Behind its cute and funny exterior is a very dark and heavy story about very adult themes, and extremely good for what it was at the time. Wrapped in a neat little box that any kid could play, but all the adults that played it themselves understood and recognized. Very Dreamland-esque. Dragon Quest 11. You just recently played that one.
I recently played that. It was fantastic. This game has, it's basically got over 100 hours of gameplay. I need to go back to it because I skipped over the super bosses without even knowing it. It is so unique in my opinion because I was recommended to it by my friend Jose, our mutual friend, and he said I would like this, so I checked it out. And also I liked it because Akira Toriyama worked on it. This was the second to last Dragon Quest that he did the artwork for, with the last being 12, whenever the hell that's coming out. Hopefully we get an announcement this year or next year because we haven't seen one in years. But it's an incredibly amazing game. The story is fantastic. You know, it's chosen hero, save the land, your typical thing, but it's done so well that it keeps you interested in it. And of course, Toriyama's character designs help because they look cool and goofy, just like Dragon Ball characters and all the Sandland and all the other stuff he's worked on. And also the story ties directly to other Dragon Quest games, specifically the first 3, are tied to it because it's the story about the main character's ancestors and whatnot. So their ancestor. So that's why I'm going to play those Dragon Quest games eventually, so I can understand what happened in the past before it got to Dragon Quest 11, which I don't think the other Dragon Quests are intertwined like that, but I think that's just incredible. So that game was fantastic. There's over 100 hours of gameplay in there, so that alone to me, because when Jose initially pitched it to me, he's like, "There's a 100 hours." I'm like, "And?" Like, I play MMOs more than anyone else I know. I don't care that there's 100 hours in a game. I will play all 100 hours of a game. I love having that because it means I can keep continuing the story, and I don't have to worry about the story being over too quickly, like in shorter games. But yeah, I highly recommend playing that if you haven't. It's really good. The next game I have not played at all. I've never played any of them.
Number 10, number 9, number 8. Dragon Quest 11 was number 7.
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles.
Number 5.
I have not played Xenoblade Chronicles myself either. I do know about it. I know
number 6.
Shulk comes through it. Is it 6?
Oh yeah, 6. Shulk 10, from 9, Smash 8. Brothers.
Yeah. 6. Yeah, no, sorry, number 6. Don't know a lot about the story itself, but I do know a lot of people do enjoy it. I know it's very. I don't know
anybody that enjoys it. Like I've been told play the previous Xenoblade Chronicles, not 3.
I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know about 3. From what one of my best friends told me, he'd say it's the same thing. He liked 3, but he liked 2 better.
That's what Simon tells me. Yeah,
I think that the Xenoblade Chronicles games are unique in their battle systems.
Yes.
Their stories are very much JRPG, but very good JRPG, not just basic ass bullshit. Yeah. Don't know a lot about them. Don't know a lot about the story and foundations of it, but that's number 5 on their list. So, or it's number 6. So I'll take it.
And now for the top 5.
So top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5 is a new addition to the JRPG franchise.
It's on my wish list.
Metaphor ReFantazio. A spin-off game of some kind. Maybe not a spin-off of Persona, but it is from
a similar
Atlas.
Theme.
It is a very similar theme to Shin Megami Tensei, Persona. It takes place in a mystical, what do you call it? Dark medieval kingdom. The story is, from what I hear, very good. The combat and everything else, from what I hear, is very good. It is a fantastic JRPG that I have yet to try because, like I said, I have no fucking time for anything.
They even have anime style cutscenes, which is awesome. I wish more games had that are JRPG. Just like,
wait, no, this is number 4. Number 5 was Xenoblade Chronicles. We can't count.
Huh? What?
Or you didn't write all 25.
No, I did. Okay, yeah. I can't count then. Okay, yeah. So that was number 4. Yeah. Number 4. Anything else on Metaphor?
14, 15, 16. Sorry, 17, 18, 19.
I went by the whole list.
21, 22, 23, 20. Yeah, you did. We just counted wrong. All right.
Okay, yeah.
No, I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about it, but the artwork and the smoothness of the animation just looks really good. I do love myself some Persona, so I am definitely going to be getting into it and digging in as soon as I can.
Persona.
But at number 4, I think that's a good pick. I think that is a great pick because the Persona team has done a lot. They were that studio has already been put on this list early on with a nod to Shin Megami Tensei 3, which is the best one. I think their new venture with Metaphor ReFantazio being a good middle ground between Shin Megami Tensei and Persona makes this a good pick for number 4.
And the next number 3, one you don't agree with at all, which I know some people don't agree with.
I do not agree that this should be up there, but I understand why it's up there. So,
it is my favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy X. Yes, I am so happy that it beat 7. Fuck 7, but you talk for me.
No. So it isn't about it being 7. 7 was very confusing and convoluted to a point, especially in its original translations.
Damn.
It is a difficult story to follow without multiple playthroughs, which makes it not fit to be the best Final Fantasy.
Yeah, because people don't want to do that just to get the story.
Yeah. I think the best one in terms of Final Fantasies is 6. I think it should be 6 on this list because it did something great for JRPGs. It moved it into the 16-bit era, whereas Final Fantasy V was, your old school 8-bit style.
Yeah.
6 was where it all really changed. I understand why 10's on there. 10 did so much.
It added voice acting. It was the first one with voice acting. Yep. And it was one of the last games that had the pre-rendered backgrounds and what have you. The story was simple to follow, and it was interesting to, all aspects of the story were great. It wasn't boring. It wasn't your standard I'm the chosen one sort of thing. And if you want more detail on the story, go check out episode 25 where we talk about video game stories and I talk about this. But for a quick rundown, it's about a character getting whisked away into the future, and he doesn't know why he's there. He was pulled from his home and he has to find a way to get back, and he goes through all these obstacles, and he ends up going on a journey helping this magical sorcerer lady, a white mage named Yuna, go on her pilgrimage to stop the great evil. Technically it's a white mage with summoning capability. It's a white mage. Summoner. It's a white mage. She has healing magic with summoning capabilities.
Summoners have healing magic too.
It's a white mage. Anyway, point is, it's a great fucking game, and it has everyone's favorite mini game, Blitzball, which is basically underwater soccer mixed with water polo. I don't have a problem with it, but I can understand why people do. The music is fantastic. The characters are fantastic. My favorite character in all Final Fantasies in there, Auron. He's fucking badass. He's not a stoic samurai Ronin kind of character. But yeah, I'm glad that it has got the attention of being on someone's top 25 list of JRPGs because, again, like I've said in episode 25, this is one of the few games I can go back and play for the rest of my life and never get tired of it because it's has such an emotional grasp on me. And it was my first Final Fantasy that I played when I was 11 years old when it came out in 2001. It's fantastic. But yeah.
So he's right. All that stuff, true. Very true. Come down to subjective opinions, not my favorite.
Yeah, but I get that.
What it did for JRPGs as a whole, with having fully 3D modeled, pre-rendered backgrounds that were beautiful and had depth of field compared to how obvious recent ones, 9, 8, and 7 did. They were still pre-rendered backgrounds, fully 3D modeled. They were beautiful. They looked like you could walk over and touch them. You had something that a JRPG had never done before, which was voice acting, which is a huge thing. And it has become a staple in a lot of voice JRPGs moving forward from that time. Having the cinematics themselves was not a different thing, but the quality of cinematic level that you got out of Final Fantasy X definitely dwarfed anything that 7, 8, or 9 tried to do as well. And that could all be pushed towards the absolute power tank that was a PlayStation 2 at the time. True. That kind of technology behind the game really helped it shine. But I agree with that. Trust me, I do. I agree with all of that. I think that Final Fantasy X is a good choice for this. I think it should be on this list regardless. I still think 6 did a better job of changing, or maybe not changing. I think 6 did a better job of being a JRPG than I think 10 did. I loved the story of 6. It was what people hadn't had in a long time, and at that time was a classic fantasy story. A switch in main characters from being a male to a female with Terra, and a villain that through and through proved that not only is he conniving and has the guile to be that cunning person, but also that hint of unhinged psycho that you don't know what's going to happen next. Kafka being one of the best villains that's ever been written in Final Fantasy history. Just an amazing character, very, very much the personification of chaos. Exactly what I think that kind of villain for that kind of story should have been. You go through the whole beginning of the game thinking, oh, this guy's just a clown. This guy's just a clown. He's just a point. We're going to get to that point, be done with it, and move on, find the real villain. No, motherfucker, he's the real villain the whole time. He's been here. He's there. You're good luck, man. Like,
it reminds me of like
why
villain. That reminds me of why I like Arden as a villain in Final Fantasy 15, because you think, oh, it's just a bad guy, but then you know his backstory, and it's kind of sad. He used to be a good person, and then he was shit on for being a good person, and then he decided to become a villain. He's like, well, this is your fucking fault. I'm going to be an asshole now. So it made him multi-dimensional to me. So Kafka having that is a great villain because it has multi-layered parts of his personality, what have you.
So yeah, Final Fantasy X, number 3, good spot, perfect spot. Yeah. Final Fantasy deserves to be a top 5 no matter what game of ours we're talking about.
Oh yeah, always. Staple number 2, JRPGs. I haven't played it. I have it. Will play it.
Not shocking. Persona 5 Royal. There is a difference for those of you who don't fucking understand Persona games.
It has everything.
Persona 5 Royal has everything from the original game, along with extra story to make the game make more sense. Why
also
wasn't
over 100 hours?
I don't fucking know. It is definitely way over 100 hours.
Like 150
Persona
minimum.
5 Royal, fucking terrific. I love
it. It has a penis monster.
It has a penis monster. Not. I will say as a forewarning, as a trigger warning, Persona 5 is not my favorite Persona game, but it is a good Persona game nonetheless.
Episode 25 he explains which one is his and why.
I think Persona 5 definitely deserves to be up here because of its advances in Persona games. It is graphically and programmically, that's not a word.
Nope.
It is an impressive piece of programming.
Yes.
Just from the depth of the world alone and the visual beauty of it all, but not only that, but the stylistic choices in which they choose to show certain things happening and the way that they use menus and how you get out of battles when you win and how your menus activate and work in battle. Like, there is just so much about this game that pushes the edge of what a JRPG should be. And you can see its influence in so many other games, like the current contender, at least in my opinion, for Game of the Year, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Same thing. The UI for the battle system is very much inspired from the Persona style battle system. Rotating menus that move as you pick through them and switch and things like that make it so interactive and so unique to a RPG as opposed to just static bars and choices.
That's why I can't wait to play it. Looks great.
Definitely deserved. Honestly, congratulations, Atlas, to get on that list. That's definitely a deserved fucking win because the story of it while the story may not be my favorite, it is still very grounded in realism and dark enough to be adult without it being too kid-like. Yeah. Very much so a story of what do you call? Almost a revenge story in some sense. But more of a Robin Hood revenge story, if that makes sense. And those of you who've played it may understand what I mean. Maybe not. Those of you who haven't played it might be able to get it, but if not, go fucking play the game. It's really good. It's worth it. It's totally fucking worth it. Good. And then we move on to our number one.
I can agree here because every JRPG fan I know loves this over everyone. It is the gatekeeping game, in my opinion, to JRPGs. If you're going to play JRPGs, you kind of should start with this one if you want to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's the Cowboy Bebop of JRPGs. But you.
So number one on this list is Chrono Trigger, a 1997 Squaresoft title. It was 97 or 96, I can't remember. This game was, at its time, probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest video game that had ever released ever. It released on the Super Nintendo. It started off as a classical tale of the heroes kind of story. Continued to move that way, and at some point in the game you start realizing this is more of a Hero of Time kind of story, and things start going crazy, and it's just this epic wild roller coaster ride. There is so much in this game aside from just changing your aspect on what the hero does, but introducing unique and fun characters throughout the game that change the way you play the game, a battle system that consistently changes as you continue to play the game and continues to change as you grow your character stronger with certain characters, skills that unlock for each character working as a team, skills that unlock for your character specifically, just all this neat stuff, not to mention, again, beautiful graphics for its time. At the time, the 16-bit wars were real, and this game took everything from those wars and learned and made one of the most beautiful Super Nintendo games that has ever existed. A fucking stellar soundtrack for its time. Just super good songs for every event, your battles, your bosses, your overworlds, your different areas of game. Chrono Trigger was that game. It was the one to beat. It is still honestly kind of the one to beat in terms of did you make a good JRPG? If your JRPG can stand a flame to Chrono Trigger, then I think you've done a good job. Obviously, no game. I agree with this person who wrote it. I don't think any JRPG has topped what Chrono Trigger has done for the genre in general. And I think it's definitely going to take a lot of fucking work to get there.
I can't wait for the remake.
This game, even the fucking story of it is just so unique in terms of what we had at the time.
Would you recommend I play this version before the remake happens, or wait till?
I would say play this one 100%, no matter what, all the way. Play the original, no matter what you do.
All right.
Then go back and play the remake and see how you like that, because remakes, as we've seen, the Final Fantasy VII can
significant
have
changes.
Yeah, significant changes is a good word. Not bad changes, just significant, very different from their originals. And I think with the Final Fantasy VII one, at least in this case, excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me, thank you. Might have another one now. I think in this case for Final Fantasy VII, I think that when they came back to it, they saw that they had room to actually tell and expand on certain parts of the story that they couldn't really do with limited capabilities before.
That's a good thing.
Which did also require some restructuring of the story in a sense. I'm not mad at it. I was mad at it at first. In the first one, when I played remake, I was upset a little. I was like, it's not the same story. I'm okay with this though. I still love Final Fantasy VII. I'm going to play it through all the way to completion. Rebirth is where I started saying, okay, this story is actually really fucking cool. I think I'm going to really like this. And so now I'm waiting for whatever the last one is, Resurrection.
I'm waiting for all that on PC before I play it. Yeah.
But yeah, the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, whatever it will be called, will, I think, probably solidify, depending on how they do it, will probably solidify my preference for the remake over the original.
Okay.
So we'll see when we get there, but that's the top 25. IGN,
this is a pretty solid list. That may not be the best, but it's pretty good. I like it.
It's a solid list, no matter what. It is definitely good picks on there. I'm just a little perplexed on certain choices. Like I said,
same here.
Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2,
really
if it has to be on this list, is at 25. There's no way that fucking thing should be that high up.
Yeah, no.
Pokemon, kind of on the fence about it, but it is definitely a different kind if you want to look at it this way. It is an RPG. It was made by a Japanese developer at the time.
It's the grindiest game genre ever.
Or game brand. Technically, it is a JRPG by technicality.
Yeah.
With way more characters than any other JRPG has had.
Oh my god.
Especially if you play a current one.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm definitely good with Chrono Trigger at the top though. I think
Me too.
That was a perfect pick. I don't think any of these other games can hold a candle to what Chrono Trigger did as a video game. You know what? Maybe I'll go back and replay it and do a little video essay on it myself. I've been wanting to replay it.
Yeah, you should. You know more about it than I do.
It's been a while since I replayed it. And I've been meaning to go back and replay something. So maybe I will. I think I have it on my phone. I'll probably play it there. But yeah, I think that's all the time we have for today because we ran a little long.
Yeah, an hour and 30-ish. Yeah.
Oh, an hour and 30-ish. We're about par for course then. We're all right.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for joining us. For those of you who may or may not know, we are the For the Geeks podcast. Thank you for tuning into this episode. If you want to follow us, if you feel like giving us a little support, you can always follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/forthegeekspodcast, where we post the video episodes every week, or every week we record.
We're trying to. Yeah.
Try to. You can also follow us on Instagram at For the Geeks with 2 S's, on Twitch at For the Geeks Games for streaming stuff. And you can also follow us on patreon.com, where you can get all of the stuff, including the live episode as it's recorded, as soon as it's done, immediately afterwards.
I'm going to upload it today.
For only $1 a month. And we typically record on Saturdays or Sundays, and the episodes usually post on streaming services and YouTube on the following Wednesday.
At 12 p.m. Pacific time.
12 p.m. Pacific time. It's only $1. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it always helps. The support is always nice, and helps us push forward on our goal to kind of try and do more with this and try and create new things. We do talk. If you talk on Patreon, we will talk back. We also talk on our socials and everything. So definitely, if you got feelings on how we thought things are, and you disagree or something, go ahead and hit the comment button. You don't gotta like. I would love if you like the videos or episodes. Subscribe to the content, but definitely comment and have that discourse with us, because I love to have that talk about video game stuff with people.
Same.
I prefer to do it in person and like with my mouth, because it's a lot easier and faster, but typing is fine. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the episode, please consider following. That way you can keep up to date every time we drop a new episode, and we will do better about dropping episodes more frequently. Sniffles, where can they find you if they want to follow you?
On the internet.
There you go.
No, you can go to my Twitch, you can go to my Twitter, you can go to my Instagram at Seeger Plays, or you can go to my main Instagram at Seeger VFX. I stream every now and then on Twitch. I try to stream on weekends if I'm up to it and whatnot. We were going to stream earlier D&D, but that didn't happen. I'm probably going to stream more Battlefront this weekend because I'm just loving playing it. And Sundays I do Arcade streams because I have to do my reset raid and whatever. Can't skip that. What about you? Where can they find you, cousin?
Well, if you want to find me, you can come find me on Instagram at YoYoDesu with 2 U's, YoYoDeSUU, or you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/YoYoNinjaBoy. Those links will be down there somewhere in the comments or bio or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's there. You'll find it. It's there. It's much easier to just click that link and follow me there. But other than that, you can try to catch me at your local Street Fighter tournaments, kicking people's asses. I don't know where else you can find
getting wrecked by Justin Wong. Yeah.
Or that. So yeah, I think that's it. That's it for episode 35. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.
We'll see you again next time.
Be safe. And as always, game like you mean it.
Booby lips.